Hey Chrome editors. In this video we're going to work on glasses, something that we see in a lot of photos, and I'm seeing a lot of times editors just blur the image in the glasses and it produces a really fake look. So what do we do when a customer wants to change the background or change the reflection in the glasses? On this one we're going to put her in a city background eventually, but first we'll do the glasses. So the glasses would be reflecting the city. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the quick selection tool and roughly select the glasses, and don't worry about being too neat because we can clean it up later once we have the mask. So I'm going to grab the other side and just quickly clean it up. Okay. Now I found a picture of a city. I'm going to copy it and paste into, and then just adjust. Okay. So that's the first step. And I'm sure the first thing that you notice is how vivid and colorful the reflection is. Usually things get a little desaturated when they're reflected in glasses. And then as you can see, there's a color filter on this photo. It's a little reddish, brownish, so I'm gonna just add some red, and I'm gonna add some yellow. And then I'm going to desaturate it more. And the next thing you want to do is levels. I'm using shortcuts, but I'm sure you guys know where to get the levels adjustment tab from. So we want to try to match, just take down the contrast a little bit. So I'm bringing up the middle bar and darkening this bar. So that looks pretty good, but we can get it even better. One thing to note is glasses are usually not flat. This looks like they're flat glasses, but usually the glass is a little bit round, so it will warp the reflection. So doing one side at a time, I'm going to select one side and edit, transform, warp, and just kind of skew the reflection a little bit so it's more realistic. And it doesn't really matter how you do this, just play around. That looks good. Do the same thing on this side. Edit, transform, warp, and cool. Okay, and this works for if you want to make glasses that look like they're completely opaque. This is the best way to do that. If you want to see through it a little bit, because if you notice in the original we can see her eyes, she might want to be able to still see her eyes. That's a little more challenging. I'll show you how to do that. First, let me just quickly clean up the edges of the mask. So I'm on the mask layer, and I am just going along the edges here. So that's the opaque type. So now we can feather. I have the lasso tools feathered at 15, And I'm going to select the eye and the edge of the face here. And first we're going to make this a little more see-through, and then I'm going to delete. If you hit Command Delete on the mask layer, it will delete. You can see within the mask, it's just deleting the mask. So now you can start to see those arms from the original glasses. It looks like people's arms, or it's probably her arms because she's taking a selfie. So we want to get rid of those arms that are showing through, and I think the best way to do that is to try to match the color that's around it. So we'll get rid of this arm by, I selected the color above the arm, and I'm just going to color it in. And the good thing is that it doesn't have to be perfect, because once we have that other layer on top of it, you're not really going to notice all the little details below. So do the same thing here, select the color. We want to make sure that this line is nice and neat, because that's going to show through. So just sort of try to even out some of the distractions underneath. And you can even take the smudge tool and put it on 20% and blur some of this underneath, and then again use the brush tool and maybe put the brush tool on 50% opacity so it blends better. So this doesn't look this doesn't look very good if we're just looking at this layer, but once we put the other layer on top, it's going to look much better. And since we're trying to see the eye, let's bring out the eye a little bit more on this side by making sure we get rid of that arm. I'm just guessing, you know, there'd be eyelashes here, there'd be the pupil right there, a little bit more, there would be the under eye there. So as you can see, not doing this perfectly, but once we put this top mask back on, it doesn't really need to be perfect, as you can see. And you can also work on it with the top layer activated, just to see what still stands out. Like right here, this stands out, so I'm just smudging it and making it a little more blended, like that. So and I guess the last thing we want to do is, I'm going to select, I think the eyes are coming out really dark through the glasses. So I'm going to, oh, actually the best way to do it is to color back in the mask a little bit, but we don't want to color it all the way. See, if I color it all the way, we're going to lose the eye completely. But if I color it at like 40% opacity right here, then we can still see the eye, but it looks more realistic. And the thing I'm noticing is that this looks very bright. So I'm just going to adjust the levels one more time by hitting Command L and bringing down. You have to find the perfect balance to just play with these levers. Darken the glasses just a bit. And I want to desaturate some of this red that's in the underneath layer. So I'm going to select and desaturate. And there it is. So we have the see-through sunglasses, which go with the kind she had in the original. And yeah, so you have those two options, and I think that these look pretty realistic. Thanks for watching.